My name is David Taylor from Retail Lifesavers, and today Michelle and I are going to be discussing Facebook Shops. Now, announced this week, there was from Mark Zuckerberg announced the introduction of a new feature, Facebook Shops. It's rolling out in the US at the moment, progressively, and it allows customers on Facebook and Instagram to purchase products directly through the app. And what it does is it replaces the need for you to have as a retailer, it replaces the need for you to have a Shopify store or an e-commerce store of some description. And you are able to see the product, purchase the product without leaving your app. Zuckerberg's also mentioned that in order to assist with retailers moving online at the moment, they're going to have it free on launch. So that's at least, there's no time frame as to when it will be costing, but they did say it'll be free on launch. So Michelle, you're the resident retail expert here. Do you have any thoughts on this?
Well, I guess, as you know, I always tend to step over there into the customers and the retailer's shoes to look at things from that point of view. So I guess, and you being the techie, so we kind of bring both of those conversations to the table and it ends up being a whole brain conversation. I guess if I'm a retailer and, some of the conversations that we've been speaking about recently, if we've got a retailer that doesn't have a website and so therefore they don't have an online store, what in this is then a pro for that retailer?
Well, I guess the pro is that there's a lot less effort in terms of setup. Obviously, we don't know all the details yet. We don't have all the information yet, and we don't know how it's going to occur, how it's going to be rolled out in Australia. But for what we do know so far is that you'll be able to add the products in. You'll be able to add the products into Facebook. It also appears that when you add those products into Facebook, they will automatically be available in Instagram as well. So you'll be saving effort there. So it should be quicker to go to market rather than waiting for a website to be developed. I still think you'd need to have your branding and your logos, etc. up and you'd have to have all that right, but you still have those things. But it should be quicker to set up. So there's no need for an e-commerce store. That's probably the biggest advantage.
So literally, it's just a matter of either a retailer themselves or, a business like us that does this kind of thing for our clients, where we're going to be, once we have more detail from Facebook as to how this looks, in going in and actually getting that set up, that would then allow fairly quickly for that retailer to have an additional income stream without them having to wait to get a website and an online store as part of that website.
And that's exactly right. They wouldn't need to spend that much time, in theory, when we get all the information, we'll know for sure. But Facebook are going to make this process very easy, I'm sure, because that's what they obviously are trying to encourage more people to go down this path.
And do you think that there will be a point in time that, it sounds great because there's a community aspect, which is what Facebook is built on, that they're bringing this, they see an opportunity, they're bringing this service out, to the likes of businesses to be able to set this up in a pretty quick and cost-effective way, and in this case, for free. Fast forward a couple of months, do you think that, that once you've got a big community of retailers relying on this for their business, do you think that Facebook will introduce costs that will, potentially be a bit of a surprise for people? Or do you think that they'll just be really, conservative in how they introduce that and potentially move up the pricing?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think, Zuckerberg's actually announced that at some point in the future, they will introduce pricing. They have not provided detail as to how that'll be, a timeline for that or anything. The way I see it, and I think that's an important point, because I think that what they're going to do is that I think they'll be pretty transparent about that item. I think people realise it anyway. So there will be a cost involved, and we also don't know if when they say free, are there going to be transaction costs and things of that nature. So that's something that we don't know at this point. If there are going to
Yep.
be transaction costs, will they be the same in every jurisdiction? But I would say that they're going to try and get as many people onto the platform as possible. And I think to do that, they're going to have to offer some very, very favourable terms in order to do so.
Okay. And so from a retailer's point of view, if anyone's sitting out there at the moment, and seeing this as being a really viable strategy for them to be able to move forward with, there's not that much there to be fearful about, because yes, there is an unknown here to this conversation, but it's still, free now. It's going to generate sales that you're currently not getting. You've got an opportunity to get more and more momentum built through that, and therefore more sales, that by the time you even get to a stage that there is a cost associated with it, it could be so minimal that it doesn't even really cause a big dent for you as a retailer.
That's exactly right. And it doesn't mean that you could start down as a path, and then if you get large enough that it makes sense to move, and if the cost, if it works out, if you sit down and do your ROI and work out that it's actually going to work out better to move to your own e-commerce store, then that's what you're going to do. So I think Facebook are going to be wary of that. There is going to be competition out there. It is going to have an impact on how e-commerce works, I think, in the future. And it will allow, we don't know what Shopify and others are going to do. They may come to the party and start being a bit more aggressive in their pricing and their product as well. So it's certainly going to make a lot of positive changes out there. It's going to be good for retailers. It's going to be great for consumers, because they're going to get more. They're going to have to be provided more, much easier ability to purchase their products. It's going to be much easier for them going forward.
Yeah, I actually got that, and I hadn't even thought about that. This is a win-win-win. More competition, which then is a win for retailers and certainly a win for consumers. After the impact of COVID, certainly people are absolutely looking at their businesses in, a way that they haven't before. And I agree, this is a huge opportunity for them to be able to really generate another income stream that they currently don't have. Absolutely.
I think Facebook is a huge opportunity at the moment. So I think what we'll do is leave this one here for now.
Yep.
We'll come back to this as we know more about what's going on here. There's still opportunities right now in Australia on Facebook, even without having Facebook shops, and it's certainly It certainly gives people more reason to consider going into social media in a stronger way. And I think as we see more and more of these things occurring, it just gives more and more reason for people to go down this path.
Okay. Yep. Great. Okay. Well, look, I certainly look forward to having further conversation with you about that, and us exploring that even further, and how that is going to, support retailers out there.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Michelle.